Welcome to my YouTube channel, Stay Juicy, where we experiment in the kitchen with recipes for the very first time to see if they turn out as delicious as they sound. Before we get started, there are a few things you should know about me, your host, Juicy Thunder. The first thing is that I am not really English. No. I just enjoy speaking like this because it makes me sound, how do you say, ridiculous. The next thing is that this is not a porn station. I mean, I know the name Juicy Thunder, Stay Juicy lends itself to a certain audience, maybe. But if that's what you were hoping for, move on. Today I'm going to make Philly cheesesteak stuffed portobello mushrooms from Skinny Taste. I love Skinny Taste recipes because they're low fat and usually delicious. We'll see if this one is. I'll meet you in the kitchen. All right, welcome back to my kitchen. I've done most of the prep work for our Philly cheesesteak stuffed mushrooms. Because this really isn't a cooking show, it's more of a what to eat show. But I did learn something today. The recipe said to break off the stem of the mushroom and to scoop out the gills. Who knew those were called gills? Had no idea. But I did have the perfect tool for the job. My handy dandy melon baller. Now this one I got from Pampered Chef and I love it. It's extremely sharp and it got all these gills cleaned out in no time. So the other thing I did was I went ahead and cooked up our steak. So I've got our steak all sliced and cooked up in this bowl. A little disclaimer, I didn't read the recipe all the way through and I sliced it before I cooked it, but I'm hoping that it'll still turn out okay. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is cook up our vegetables, which is our green onion and regular onion, green pepper and the onion. And I bought it pre-chopped in these handy dandy containers, thinking I would save myself some time and effort. Turns out there probably isn't 3/4 of a cup in these. So if my recipe doesn't turn out just right, it's probably because I didn't use enough green pepper and onion. But I'm gonna go ahead and get those softened up. I will put them in our bowl and we will come back. So I've been on Weight Watchers for a little over a year now, and I've had a lot of success with their program. But one of the things that I've run into is making meals at dinner time that my family will love and that are still friendly point-wise. If you're a Weight Watcher, you know what that means. So Skinny Taste has a ton of recipes. They all sound delicious. So that's the reason I decided to do this channel. Try out new recipes and see which ones I can find that will keep me on program and that my family will eat. Well, I think our onions and peppers are about done. So I'm gonna get these off of the stovetop. They took a little bit longer to get soft than I thought. I think because they were cut a little more chunky than I would have done if I had actually cut them myself. I'm gonna add those to the steak. Okay, so I just got my mushrooms sprayed down with oil. I'm gonna go ahead and mix up the filling. Couple of tools that I love to have in the kitchen. I know I keep saying this isn't a cooking show, but I feel like I should share some tips with you. Let me say I don't sell Pampered Chef, but I do have a lot of their tools, and I love some of these measuring cups because I am a perfectionist. And I can perfectly measure 1/4 of a cup of sour cream and get it all, every last bit of yumminess into my recipe. Same with mayo. So this is cups, and this is like teaspoons and tablespoons. So if you're measuring out peanut butter, you get exactly 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And every Weight Watcher knows that you don't want to waste 1 single lick of peanut butter. Here's my cream cheese, which I measured out 2 ounces on my scale, because again, I like to be precise. So I use a food scale. We're just gonna mix all of this up. It looks so yummy. Eat it right out of the bowl. The last thing that I need to put in here, I think, is the cheese, the shredded cheese. 3 ounces it says. The recipe says provolone cheese, and I'm gonna go ahead and use mozzarella because they didn't have shredded provolone at my store. Also, since we're talking about substitutions, and this is a review of this recipe, I used Greek yogurt, just fat-free Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. I always do that. So I'm gonna measure out 3 ounces. There's 1. There's 2. I'm being super messy because our battery's about to die. And 3. Okay, 3 ounces of cheese. I just need to mix all this up, fill the mushroom caps, and then bake it at 400, it says, for about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. When everything is done and delicious, I will have my family sample it and we'll see how this recipe pans out. All right, well, welcome back. The mushrooms just came out of the oven and they look amazing. This is my daughter, Flower Power. We're both gonna try this and see if it's family worthy. They just came out, so they might be super hot. Steaming hot deliciousness.
Oh, cheesy.
My mouth is watering.
Mine too.
Okay. Make sure you get a little bit of everything in your bite. Mmm. Mmm. It's a thumbs up from me.
Really good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this recipe is a winner. I'm going to put a link in the descriptions of this video. Skinny Taste Philly cheesesteak stuffed portobello mushrooms. Delicious.